It's my great pleasure to welcome to Radio Wave Jeremy Corbyn. Welcome to Blackpool.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me in.
Have you been here before?
Many times. Not to your radio station, but to Blackpool many times. I first came to Blackpool 1960 something.
So you'll have seen lots of changes.
I've seen lots of changes. I used to live in Shropshire then, so it wasn't so far to come.
Well,
I came with a van in those days, and indeed I slept in the van.
You slept in the van? Yeah. What was wrong with our hotels?
Nothing at all, but my van was cheaper.
Fair enough. Just a few questions. My life in Blackpool, our Labour Council here in town has been the hardest hit in the UK, as you know, in terms of funding cuts. What would a Labour government do to help us?
We look at the funding cuts that have taken place across the whole country, and it's very unfair. The areas of greatest need and poorest, like Blackpool, have been hit the hardest, and therefore the people of Blackpool suffer with loss of jobs and facilities, suffer with the services that they should get and can't get because the council hasn't got the money to provide them. So a Labour government would properly fund local government.
Where would that money come from?
It comes through increasing taxation at the top end in order to pay for it. It's an investment for the future. Crucially, our whole purpose would be to invest in a growing economy through a national investment bank, regionally based, to ensure investment in transport infrastructure across the north.
Looking at university, of course, we had A-level results yesterday, and everyone's looking about the tuition fees now. You have made a point of promising to abolish those tuition fees. Lancashire, though, suffers from a lack of skilled manufacturing and industrial employees. What would you do to guarantee fairer skills and adult education?
National Education Service to make sure that there is good quality apprenticeships all across the country. We'd also end college fees and also invest in good quality industrial training, because you're quite right that if we're to have an expanding manufacturing base, and Blackpool has traditionally been a place of a lot of manufacturing industry, then you do need the apprenticeships that go with it. If you do a comparison between Britain and Germany, over the past 2 or 3 decades, British manufacturing has gone down to about 12% of national output. Germany was double that. I think we need to think in terms of the role of government in investing in skills and training and infrastructure, as well as supporting industries to grow.
Moving on to elected mayors, Greater Manchester and Merseyside, of course, now have theirs. Would you want to see elected mayors in Lancashire and Yorkshire?
What I want to see is better democracy in our society, better devolution, and including local government in it. The government has so far said that any unitary authority set up, such as Greater Manchester, has to be accompanied by a directly elected mayor. I think it's wrong to make that condition on it. What I want to see is a stronger local government structure. I did have a meeting yesterday, a very interesting meeting, with a group of Labour councillors in Lancashire County Council, and they were saying their fundamental problems in Lancashire County Council are the way in which central government treats them, and they're worried about becoming a poor neighbour of Greater Manchester. I'm sure Andy Burnham doesn't want to become somebody that is surrounded by poor neighbours, so it's a question of strengthening the county councils as well.
You'll have heard about our £25 million conference centre that's starting away. Jake Berry was here earlier this week, the Northern Powerhouse Minister, promising that the Conservatives would probably put their names down to be one of the first to come back. Will the Labour Party do the same?
Well, look, we are a very big conference, and we'll obviously look at where we can go that's big enough for us. I welcome the new conference centre. I welcome that the GMB and other unions have already committed to come here, and I hope it's going to be a fantastic success. I came to my first Labour Party conference here. I came to many Labour Party conferences here. What a wonderful experience that was.
Is that the sort of the facilities that are being planned now? Those are the sort of things that you would need to say yes, we'll
They
go.
appear to be, but I cannot give a commitment here and now. I want the conference centre to be a success, because conference centres are a very important part of the coastal town's economy, but it's also about investment in the transport infrastructure, because that's crucial as well to getting conferences in. And conferences, of course, provide, or can at their best provide, the all year round employment which seaside resorts traditionally have struggled with.
Just one last question, then turning to the subjects of local radio. I know you're a fan of local radio.
Yeah.
Well, earlier this year, as you know, Parliament passed a new law that could pave the way for local stations to apply for their own digital licences. And this new law will enable stations like Radio Wave to remain relevant to listeners and thrive in the age of digital media. What's your view on the role played by stations like Radio Wave, and would you lend your support to the bid for digital licensing?
Yes, I would, because digital licensing is crucial, because there has to be this wide variety of radio stations on offer. You do a great job, combination of music and talk and news and sport and all the things that are so important. And at their best, local radio stations do help to provide that sense of local identity and local community, and that we have to do.
I hope your local radio station looks after you, does it?
Well, it's in London, therefore it's more complicated, because London is always the complicated combination of national and local. But local radio stations across the country do provide an incredibly valuable service, and they help keep communities together and improve the lives of everybody.
Jeremy, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much for inviting me.